All right, next one. If you optimize a service page titles using the format of service location brand, how do you optimize the terms like best service or service near me or service cost? Do you optimize for those keywords in the content itself versus the title? Yeah, you can. Um, uh, you can also do link building for those pages. Like that's another thing. Like if you're optimizing the top level page for just service location brand, which is what I recommend, keep it short and succinct, keep it broad, then you can rank for the keywords associated with that service. And a lot of the times, like best service and things like that are those are modifiers. So what I'm saying is using those as anchor text and links that points to that page can make that page rank for those search queries. Do you understand? Because again, it's a way to send that kind of signal that that page is also about that term by having backlinks pointing to it with that as the anchor text. So that is one way to do it. Also, yeah, mentioning like we putting reviews, embedding reviews into a page like that where people have said like this is the best service in our town, etc. That's also will have that on the page essentially. Also, you can put in the content itself. I would recommend it in content, but I don't recommend optimizing SEO titles for that stuff, guys, because it's not necessary, and I think it makes it look a bit spammy. I prefer to keep my SEO titles for the top level pages very short and succinct, where I'm really targeting just the top level topic or category term. That's what I prefer. Then you can always add supporting content, guys. Remember, you can still. I'm not going to go into this at all today because honestly, I feel like I should only be talking about some of this stuff in our mastermind anyway. But like when I talk about category and topic optimization, I always talk about, there's a specific way to do that. And then you can still optimize for keywords too. What I recommend is that your top level pages are optimized for topics or categories, and then you can add supporting content as posts or however you choose to do it, where you're still targeting or optimizing for keywords. And that's where that kind of stuff comes in, because now you can have blog posts that have longer SEO titles that are more kind of conversational or more traditional type of blog post titles that you can work keywords like that in, phrases like that, right? So for example, you might have on the service page some typical costs or average cost. Like in my business, tree service industry, there's like average cost of tree removal. That's a search query that gets quite a bit of search. So you can have it like a heading section on the page, right? So like an H2 or H3, like actually having like an H2 frequently asked questions section, and then the question is in, and the question is an H3, and then the answer is just normal paragraph text. But if you do that, again, that's good structure, and you can work those kind of service, or excuse me, cost related and pricing related questions in the FAQs on the page. And now, because you have those as H3s with the search query that you're optimizing for, or the keyword that you're optimizing for in the H3, that can help that page to rank for that. And I was actually talking, like I said, in the mastermind webinar earlier this week. It was the makeup webinar for Thanksgiving Thursday. I demonstrated with in real time how Google is. I'm seeing this more and more now. I know that Google has done this for several years, but it was very rare. At least I didn't see it very often, but now I'm seeing it a lot more, which is Google is replacing in the search results the SEO title with instead the H1 in some cases when the H1 of the page is more relevant to the search query. And so it's interesting because you can designate the SEO title, but if Google thinks that the H1 is more relevant, or a heading, I'm saying the H1 because that's where I'm seeing it consistently now, a lot more consistently, where the H1 sometimes replaces the SEO title in the search results. And again, it's what, from my assumption, is that Google thinks that the H1 is more relevant to the seed search query, and that's why it replaces it with that. I can't remember if I have seen, I think I have, but I can't swear to it, that I have seen other headings like H2s or H3s or phrases from H2s or H3s in the search results. But that, my guess is that can happen or will happen if it hasn't already, as the search algorithm becomes more kind of tries to personalize results or customize results more for the searcher and the particular search query. Hopefully that's clear. So Anyway, yeah, so in the content itself, and you can also do it in, like I said, headings is a good way. If there, I've talked about this a lot, even in Hump Day Hangouts, guys, because when I talk about optimizing for categories or topics, you can rank for keywords that, for all the keywords that are associated with the topic or category, even if it's not on the page. Yet most SEOs that I tell this to or talk to, they just don't believe it. And so I say, fine, if you want to see, if you just must see the keyword on the page, put it into a heading tag. Remember, the H1 is the title, the page title, not the SEO title, but the page title. H2s are headings, H3s are subheadings. So just put it into a heading. If you have to see the keyword on the page, put it into a heading. So that's a good way to do it. But don't forget, anchor text can also accomplish that stuff. Hopefully that's clear. Good question. Moving on.